Hello everyone, I'm the Mighty Blues and welcome back to Danganronpa. Last time, man, things happened. We learned a bit about Chihiro's identity, and while I am not going to go into it for personal reasons, it has thrown this case into a whole new direction. I explained everything in the last episode. If you're confused about any of my stances on things, I will not repeat it because, again, personal reasons. This specific case and a lot of the information here is very sensitive to myself, and I would like to not repeat it in as many episodes as I can. I want to keep it kind of self-contained in the last episode, so please go and watch that one if you haven't already. Apparently Mondo seems to be the killer, and I need to know how that happened.
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony...
She stuffed the bag into her bag. She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
When Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag.
Also, I'm gonna state this for this episode since I feel like it's gonna need a bit of a repeating. Due to the very sensitive discourse that can happen around Chihiro's character, and due to my own personal experiences with all of it, I will be referring to Chihiro as girl. Because, well, to put it bluntly, yes, Chihiro is quote-unquote assigned male due to my own personal experiences as being a trans woman. Seeing the fact that Chihiro had tried very hard to hide that information about her and, you know, dressed like a woman, sounded like a woman, and stuff like that, very much seems like, I feel like it is easy to infer that Chihiro wanted to be referred to as a girl. So I will be respecting that. Obviously, we don't know 100% because Chihiro was dead. I just wanted to state that because, well, yes, past tense, Chihiro was referred to as a girl. Present tense, everyone refers to Chihiro as a boy because we know this information. We just don't know everything for sure. We cannot get Chihiro's side of it because Chihiro was dead. Just figured I'd state that.
If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did. Focus on the tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
How? I need to know about this.
But why? What made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Because I hate him? Is it the way he talks?
There was a certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick.
Okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I could easily see how this would trip someone off. For me personally, it didn't, because as a girl, I still get called dude. So, and I call other girls dude, so, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, but at least in my area, dude's just referred to as everyone.
And after he was killed,
I hear nobody call girls chick. Unless they're referring to it in like a sexual way where it's like, oh man, that chick's so hot. Everyone else I know, when it comes to just like modern talk, everyone refers to everyone as dude. So I guess I can see that.
Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
But that's also a Mondo thing, so... I'll admit I did notice that Mondo referred to Chihiro as dude, but again, personal experience as a girl, I've been called dude a lot.
Are you a witch? She's a witch!
By both,
Positively frightful.
by both girls, boys and girls. In my area, everyone refers to everyone as dude.
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you? Did you really kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
Yeah! He would never do something like that! This is a false accusation!
It's true. My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem. It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has nearly come. That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
You found it on the ground, right? Then it must belong to... Chihiro or Mondo's? Chihiro's.
We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere? How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
How did the handbook break? There's only one possible explanation. By hacking it, exploiting a bug, hitting its weak point. By exploiting a bug? Those are been debugged to hell and back, can't afford a recall.
Shoot!
By hitting its weak point?
I got it! You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
You remember that? Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was. But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
Then we can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
I think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Yeah, it would be not good for the killer trying to copy it because we already know. It would be easy to deduce that from the killer.
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example?
Why would it matter? We need our handbooks to do everything on a day-to-day basis, and if a future killer decides to do the same thing that this killer did, it wouldn't matter. We already know.
Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break!
Oh my god, that makes sense. And Mondo was wearing his clothes in the sauna, so he could have broken it.
Flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
And that's where Mondo
The temperature
was.
in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin. If the hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
What if the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
But we do.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, because it would have to be Mondo because Taka took his clothes
I
off.
think the one who may have taken their handbook into the sauna was...
Oh, Taka gets it. He sees it now. His bro. No. Oh, I'm sorry, Taka, but I gotta expose your bro for the man who he is. And he's the killer.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What? Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember? And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill. I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it beyond a shadow of a doubt. We did? Oh god, I don't know. Broken handbook, Chihiro's handbook card reader. Okay.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
I think I know what I have to do. I think we have to,
Let's test Makoto's assertion.
I think Mondo's lying about his,
Then Mondo, you
about
broke
his
your own
handbook.
In other words,
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine.
No, that's wrong.
I keep overthinking these. I think that's my problem is I keep overthinking these.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
It could have been Leon's.
What is that supposed to mean?
Because he could have broken his by accident, realized that, took Leon's, and then broke it on purpose.
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
Could have been Leon's.
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
Oh my god, that's a fair point! Holy shit, I never realized that!
That's right. The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, the broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
No, because he borrowed it from a dead person.
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student.
That's right, because Monokuma said that once you're dead, you're just a thing!
It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting.
God, okay, so I'm actually gonna have to start paying attention to these tiny little details moving forward, because these are things that I never realized.
As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Damn, this game is really intricate.
Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch!
What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning? That way, everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Okay. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so comic book time. God, I love the artwork in this so much. God, Chihiro is so cute. I feel so bad Chihiro's dead. Alright, so let's see. So, she would have seen the color of the tracksuit. Chihiro then hit it, ran off. Back to... would have went in. Would have been made it to the boys' locker. Went in. And yeah, got excited because they saw Mondo. Would have grabbed the dumbbell. Killed Chihiro with it. And then... I guess drop the... drop the handbook? Is that it? I don't know if that's right. Chihiro's dead. Swapped out the rug. Swap the poster. Move Chihiro's body. Wait. No. Hang on. I know what I messed up on. This actually goes here instead. Because that was a piece of evidence. So move the poster. God, there's so much to this. Would have grabbed Chihiro. Oh, would have went to the girls' room. Yeah, would have picked up. Yeah. Went inside. Yeah, that seems about right. And then... would have that. Hurt? No, I guess. That. Then I guess drop the hat? Is that it? I don't know. This doesn't seem right. Something about all this doesn't add up. But also this one right here. I don't know about this one. I guess put the poster back up? That'd have to be it.
First, let's take a look back to before the incident. Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste? With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
No, that's not it. Oh shit, I actually messed up on that. Oh, fuck off, game. Come on, I want to redo that. Oh, I forgot that. God damn it, I actually forgot that I had no health.
I refuse to give up yet.
Well, at least they give us retries. Alright, let's redo that. Oh, I have to redo it all from the beginning. Oh god, I have to redo it all from the beginning. God damn it. Alright. Give me a sec.
With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime. She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who was apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room? Simple, because she was really a he, which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room. Once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him. It seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro, and attacked him. And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came from. It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned. Which is why the killer hurried to try and hide the act. Then, removing the bloody poster, and finally carrying the corpse into the girls' locker room. A girl's handbook was necessary to get into the locker room, of course. But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem. And that's exactly how the killer did it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work. They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch. That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated. So, after After stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library. And then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter. And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook.
I was so close. I was so close. So freaking close. It was literally the last one.
And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget. Somehow, the killer knew that the handbook couldn't stand up to the heat of the sauna. And the reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook. And that's how it all played out. Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
Man, why did it have to be Mondo? I just want to know why. Why did he kill Chihiro?
No, this can't be right. Where's your evidence? Yeah, where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof, you can't pin any of this on him.
I think that's what we've already shown, Taka. Evidence that Mondo was the killer. That already revealed itself earlier in the trial. If I can somehow show where Mondo's handbook is right now, once I do that, everything will become clear. New to bullet time battles. Oh god, another tutorial! I've already failed enough in this case! Favorite time and nega time. During a bullet time, if you press the R button, right bumper, favorite time will activate and the tempo will be forced to its max. At this point, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push AY however you want to destroy the opponent's verbal assault. Interesting. But it's only lasts until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, it wouldn't be fair if only you got access to special time, right? There's a material called nega time that your opponent can use. If your opponent activates the nega time during the bullet time, your tempo marker will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the buttons in rhythm. Oh no! You activate favorite time at this point? No, never mind. I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. Oh god. Okay, cool. I have to remember to do the... Oh god, I have to remind myself how to do the stupid rhythm game.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence.
I remember how to do this now. Okay.
I won't listen. False.
I'm literally having to hold my controller in a specific way to make sure I'm pressing all the buttons that I need.
I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong.
Am I actually doing this right?
I refute you. False.
I can't tell if I'm doing this right.
Show me some evidence.
I can't tell if I'm doing this right.
False. You're correct.
Did I actually do it? Holy shit, I actually did it! Oh my god!
This should prove it.
Oh my god, that was rough. That was rough. I literally had to hold my controller a specific way to make sure I could press all three of those buttons right. Oh, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do that.
Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I did it. I killed him.
Man. I am surprised I got this. Wow. Really? Got an A rank out of that? There is no way I got an A rank out of that. There is no way.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn verdict.
Roger that!
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting! No holding on! Time for the moment we've all been waiting for! Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What?
Uh-oh! This time it looks like you got it right again! Yes, it is so! The Blackened that killed Chihiro Fujisaki was... Mondo Owada! In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful.
I refuse to believe it. There's no way. No way he would kill someone.
Sorry.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Why? 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 Why did you do it?
That's the thing that I want to know. Why?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf.
Actually...
The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. Oh, but for anyone who doesn't want to hear it, you can hit the B button to fast forward the text. No, I want to hear this. I want to hear this. I actually do. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Chihiro Fujisaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. Oh, fuck. Okay, this is... Again, I'm very sorry. I really wanted to keep this self-contained, but I have so many personal feelings about this that I'm gonna let it slip up. This phrase right here hits hard. It hits very hard. I'm very sorry for being very personal and being very self-reflective on Chihiro's character. But I don't know how else to feel about it. So I'm gonna speak on my own biases here. I'm very sorry. He'd heard things like that as long as he could remember, and he couldn't overcome his weakness. Fuck. Oh, this is just me. On the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness. To take on the fragile form of a petite young girl. Fuck. This part, okay, I'm gonna be honest. This part right here, at least for me personally, I cannot speak on Chihiro as a character, because this very much seems like, this actually does seem very accurate to Chihiro's character. Chihiro very much seems like the type of character that wanted to get stronger. However, they saw it in more of the physical aspect of it. For me personally, that's not what it was. My sense of getting stronger was actually to transition. I know that may sound weird to some, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not saying this to make everyone else understand, but I want everyone to understand where my thoughts on this whole thing is coming from. Because, yeah, no, I heard those phrases a lot growing up by the people that I wanted to impress most in my life. And it wasn't until I listened to my own feelings and listened to my own thoughts and listened to what I wanted in life that I realized transitioning was the right choice. God, I'm so sorry. I'm speaking way too personal on this. I'm sorry. I'll get back to Chihiro's character. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything about even though you're a boy. Fuck, this is so... Oh, this is... I am so sorry. This is way too accurate to my life. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had taken root deep inside him and was not so easily weeded out. As it turned out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. That can happen. That absolutely can happen. And while I will admit, as someone who is still continuing to transition, those feelings can appear, but admittedly for me, this is just my experience. Part of the transition process is learning to, well, pluck the weed. That is part of it. It's not just taking medication and changing your body. There's a lot more to it. You really need to pluck that whatever. You have to get that complex out. You have to learn that the complex, you have to learn to break the complex. And that is part of the process. Obviously, I am speaking from my own experience. We don't know that about Chihiro, because again, Chihiro was dead. Again, I'm very sorry. I am self-reflecting on this so much. And I am kind of self-inserting into Chihiro as a character, but I hope everyone can understand that this hits very close to home for me.
Weak.
Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, this world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. Which, of course, included Chihiro's embarrassing secrets, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
And that was something Chihiro couldn't let anyone find out, no matter the cost. This makes sense. Because of the inferiority complex. Oh, of course I could say it there, but not before. This makes sense. Again, speaking on personal, I'm so sorry to continue talking about this, but speaking on a personal level. No, I do not want everyone to know what is between my legs. I really don't. It is why I personally want to get surgery as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, the part of the transitioning is the waiting game. It is a massive waiting game. And a very expensive waiting game. So it's one of those things where, yes, that is a secret I very much try to keep. To the point that I do things to hide it. I do. I have to admit that. But, again, part of breaking that complex is knowing, at least for me personally, it's not going to be like that forever. You will become who you want to become. You just have to be patient. So, yes, is it a secret that I don't want everyone to know? Absolutely not. I do not want just every schmojo to know that. Even though, yes, I'm making a video on the internet that explains it. It's not something that I just want anyone and everyone to know. But I also have to accept that fact of myself and know that it's going to be there for a while. That was something Chihiro was not able to come to terms with yet. So, I get that. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Yes and no. To the inner person, to Chihiro, absolutely. That's absolutely how it feels. And to some other people, yes, that is true. However, when I say yes and no, is people can accept you. People can accept your desires and can accept you for who you are. People could accept Chihiro as a girl if that's what Chihiro wanted. However, it's the fear of being rejected. It's the fear of people finding out about your secret and not accepting you for who you are. It's a very real thing that every person in this situation has to deal with. I had to deal with it too. Hell, I hid my desire to transition for over a decade. And I hid it so well that no one in my family knew. Until I decided to take the transition and do it and start. God, this is getting way too personal. Oh, man. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. A very real possibility, yes. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair.
What?
And yet...
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I don't really want to talk about it right now.
But
I also don't want to leave things the way they are. So maybe I can talk about it later. There it is. It's all about building that strength. Building that confidence to be able to tell others. For me, that confidence came from being being independent. Not having to rely on others to get through life. I waited until I was at a point in my life where I could tell myself, if nobody accepts you, you can take care of yourself. After I try my best to become strong, then I can tell everyone, there it is! Chihiro just needed to focus on improvement. And at least for their case, it was physical strength, which I don't necessarily agree with it, but, you know, these are complex emotions. So again, I can see where Chihiro's coming from. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right.
Now's my chance.
I want to change.
I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough so that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so, that day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body. But sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it'd be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. And the person he went to...
Yeah, that's right.
It was me. Yep, it sure was! The biker gang fella had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep his secret. Okay, that makes sense. And also, one of the things that I do want to state. Now looking back at what Chihiro said earlier. Become stronger to accept who they are. Again, speaking purely from personal experience. I think that's a sign that it's not necessarily disrespectful to refer to Chihiro as a boy or a girl. I feel like in the context for Chihiro's character, you could see it as either. Because Chihiro was at the stage where, well, they were trying to figure out who they were. They were building that strength, getting out of that rut, getting out of that depression in order to figure out who they are, to figure out what identity do they want. It's a stage that everyone has to go through. Everyone has to figure out who they are. Some just get better. Others do other things. So, I guess this is my way of apologizing. If I came across as being too self-indulgent in this story and referring to Chihiro as a she, now that I see this, I think I don't think it's necessarily wrong to refer to Chihiro as whatever you want to refer to Chihiro as. I feel like they would be the better term, but I think you could see it either way. Because as a character, they were figuring out who they were. They were at that stage. They hadn't figured it out yet. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help me give some courage. So he went and asked Mondo to help him become strong. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that.
Correct.
So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did, to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro. Huh? He did what he did? You mean, that's why Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room?
Indeed.
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
Wasn't that to cover up what he'd done?
Certainly.
That could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he'd made to Chihiro. But how does moving the body keep a secret? Because up to that point, nobody knew that about Chihiro. Nobody knew. Because if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity, so he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook, see? Then, Mondo did all that to keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro, who he'd also killed.
Why? Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you?
Because no matter what I did, no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know.
I knew it.
So that's what triggered it, after all. The possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something you didn't want anyone to know, even if it meant killing someone. It's impossible.
Don't make me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. You know what? I'm gonna give Vyaka on this. I did it during this entire investigation, and I'm not gonna lie. It's given me a headache. It really has. I'm kind of ready for this case to be done. I mean, it's done now, but I am really ready to be done because it is very difficult to not throw my own self-reflections into this. I have been doing it throughout this entire trial, and I feel bad because I probably shouldn't. I guess if I need to, again, I apologize for doing that. This one just hit a little close to me. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? That embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know.
Hey,
You know what Mondo did? He killed his own brother. Wait, what? Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, makes all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother the brother's name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo never got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. And before anyone knew it, it had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, #1 in the gang, and his #2, his younger brother, Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peachy and gravy. But when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created this gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All that'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of all the other members of the gang. Which is why...
I
gotta get stronger. Stronger than Daya. Once. Just one time. No matter what, I gotta win.
Don't fuck with me.
I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And on that night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. But suddenly... laying in his kid brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid. I fucked up. Sorry. Of course he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. Hey, kid. The rest is up to you. No matter what, you gotta keep the gang together. Because it's the team, you and me, put together. It's a promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang in order to keep the gang together and keep the promise to his brother. He could never admit it to anyone that it was his own weakness that caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Daya was gonna lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad, he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother. I'm strong. Strong, 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 strong. And yet, as soon as our killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough you pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shredding light on his secret. Mondo killed his own brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I'd been carrying around, it all would have been for nothing. So that's why. Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with a kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started whirling around. I'd never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety, way down in my stomach. And it was right around then that Chihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right there, he told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden? Huh? Because I mean, you've kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would...
But...
You're right, but...
I want to change.
I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I'll talk about this after all this. Again, I'm sorry, it's very close to home. I have a very personal story about this. I have to change. No matter, I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong. It can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it?
What?
You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret? Huh? I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness, to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I'd never had. So I was jealous of him. And that jealousy broke me.
What?
Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you fucking with me right now?
No.
I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I feel like I could hear something start to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to just sit back and let my secret get revealed and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
What's wrong?
Damn
Why did you have to tell me all that? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted
No, I just really admire you. I admire your strength.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. I am strong. Strong. I'm strong. Strong. Stronger than you.
You son of a bitch.
And stronger than Daya. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was lying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him, down on the ground. Hey. I
killed him.
Oh, yeah.
I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Mondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. God damn it! Look at him! You see, you're all just like him. For a secret from the past, for a memory. For that, he killed another living being in cold blood. He couldn't cut free of his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? 'Cause I sure don't.
You bastard! Just shut up, you son of a bitch! Go ahead, say that again. I dare you.
Yep.
Okay, I'll say it as many times as I want. It's what I want to say, but unfortunately, I can't do that right now because the time for punishing is fast approaching. Punishing?
It can't be.
You mean execution?
Well now.
That's what I promised you, right? The blackened that disturbs the peace will be punished.
Ridiculous.
Hold on.
Now then, I prepared a very special punishment.
For Mondo Iwata, the ultimate biker gang leader.
No, wait!
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
So, I want to share something very personal about all of this. Specifically, the scene between Mondo and Chihiro. Because to me, that situation hits very close to home. And something that I actually had to experience very recently. So recently, in fact, that to pull the curtain back a little bit, I am recording this episode on Christmas Day 2022. The first Christmas I had to spend with my family after coming out. And I relate to Chihiro in the sense that I kept my identity, or my desired identity, a secret from my family for so long. Because I was afraid. Afraid of not being accepted. Afraid of being rejected. Afraid of being disowned. And I waited until I knew I was strong enough. I waited until I had the strength to be able to tell myself, you can take care of yourself, even if your family doesn't accept you. Even if they don't accept you for who you are. Because I did a lot of things to hide myself. And eventually I realized, no, I can't do that. I need to be stronger. And the one person that I have had I've had issues with about all of this has been my father. I can't say for certain that the rest of my life will be like this, because again, this is all very new in my life. You know, I've only been on HRT for 3 months as of this recording. Again, this is the first Christmas I had to spend coming out to my family. But I see Mondo in my dad. Because I actually did talk about this with my grandparents. And my grandparents actually really brought up a very interesting piece of information. My dad is the type of person who has forced himself to not be emotional as a way to deal with his trauma in the past. And one of the things that has been very similar between myself and my father is we both spent our entire childhood trying to become someone that those we looked up to could respect us. For my dad, it was his father. And unfortunately, my dad was not able to get the respect he wanted from his dad because his dad despised him till the day he died. And my dad has kind of taken that resentment to heart and never moved past it. For me, I decided, well, you know what? As much as I want my dad to love and respect me and to value me for who I am, I am willing to move past that for my own happiness. If my dad never loves and respects me for who I am, that's okay. Because as long as I'm happy with who I am, that's all I need. I will become stronger in my own way. And for me, that was transitioning. The way that I'm trying to get at this is, both of them were struggling from the same thing. Both were struggling from that conflict of wanting to get stronger, to overcome their struggles. Mondo did it by repressing his emotions. He did it by being a hardened asshole and just bottling everything up. Chihiro wanted to become stronger so that they could eventually reveal their secret to everyone and become stronger that way. And Mondo didn't know how to handle that. Mondo felt jealous that someone had the strength to do that. Someone had the strength to not bottle everything up, to become stronger and eventually tell the world who they are. And I draw that parallel to myself and my father. I apologize if that's very deep and that's very personal, but it's why I grew so attached to Chihiro as a character, and it's why I treated Chihiro the way that I did. It wasn't out of disrespect for the character, and it wasn't to just throw my own personal biases to Chihiro, even though I did do that, and I apologize. It is just because this is a very deep and personal topic for me. Something that I have spent so many years of my life having to deal with. And I'm finally at the point in my life where I can talk about it. I became stronger. And I can accept these things. I hope this doesn't take away from this Let's Play. And I hope I don't deter anyone from this LP. But one of the things that I enjoy about making Let's Plays is being able to be personal about these things. About the game. It's more than just making funny voices and talking about the project as a whole. It's about putting part of yourself into the game that you're playing. And that's what I'm doing here. Let's finish up the class trial now. And, end this episode, because God, this episode's long. Laughing at death, and your soul will forever be at peace.
It can't be. My brother.
Another murder, and another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. And maybe I'll just let it happen. As Taka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again that of course he had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game? Byakuya!
What is this?
You're completely insane. You know that? A game? One of our friends is dead. Do you realize that?
Naturally.
Of course I do. Because this game is of life or death.
Hey.
Life or death. I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response except that
However,
I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime?
What?
Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death. It chilled me to the bone. Last night, when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual.
Honestly.
It's so you ignored the nighttime rule too. That rule never mattered to me. I don't recall agreeing to it.
There is nothing to be done.
Well, I don't particularly care. Please, continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. I spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked at— oh god, I skipped the dialogue! Whatever, it's Byakuya, fuck him! Who, you mean you actually witnessed the murder? He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him.
Well,
So, you're saying you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning?
That's right.
Indeed. But if that had been the end of it, how boring would that have been? I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I thought it would liven things up. You did all that to liven things up?
I see.
So after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, you decided to use that to create the fake murder scene.
But
Damn, man. If we hadn't figured out who really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Well, obviously I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course. Byakuya turned and looked me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did. And I was able to perform an interesting experiment.
Interesting.
Once I do decide to become the Blackened, I know who I'll have to watch out for.
Correct.
So that was your reason. Are you satisfied?
Indeed.
Yes, we're done listening to your story. Moving on.
Hey.
There's something I'd like to ask Monokuma.
What's this?
Oh, I'm up next.
You like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why?
Do you like them? But you know, this punishment, this despair, it's not just for you. All this punishment, all this despair is my gift to mankind itself.
What?
You're over-exaggerating.
I am not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair.
Damn.
What do you mean? 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 Mean?
What the heck?
Mean. Good grief! I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing!
Whatever, it doesn't matter. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me.
Ah, the noble son of the noble family. Truly, you understand me. Woohoo! I think this is the start of a terrifying relationship.
That's enough.
Shut up. I would never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I have achieved complete victory, you're up next. I'm going to find and kill you, understand?
In the name of my family.
In the name of the Togami family, for which victory is a foregone conclusion.
You're getting all riled.
Ooh, so cool. It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you.
I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you.
Temper. Sounds like someone needs a nap.
Monokuma's laughter pealed across the courtroom, and a curtain closed in the case of Chihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fear and despair kept on multiplying. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell that had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying...
I am so sorry to end things here, but we desperately need to. Holy shit, my voice is about to give out, and this episode is almost an hour and a half. I am sorry, we are ending things here. Next time on Danganronpa, whatever the hell Monokuma is talking about, we'll get to. See you guys then. I am so sorry to make this episode so long.